The massive alien ship appeared without warning in Earth orbit one clear Tuesday morning. The gigantic vessel shimmered like crystal, catching sunlight in ways that made human eyes struggle to focus. Many people across the world looked up and felt both wonder and fear. Dr. Samantha Wells was sleeping when her phone rang at 3 a.m. She reached for it with tired hands, knowing that only an emergency would cause someone to call at this hour. "This is Wells," she said, her voice rough with sleep. "Dr. Wells, this is Director Mason from NASA First Contact Division. We need you here immediately." The words she heard next made her fully awake, faster than any coffee could. "They are here. Dr. Wells. Actual extraterrestrial contact. We have a ship in orbit." Samantha jumped out of bed and dressed quickly. Her hands shook as she buttoned her shirt. This was the moment she had trained for her entire career. As the top xenolinguist in the country, she had spent years developing possible communication methods for this exact scenario. Within 2 hours, she was at NASA headquarters, where chaos and excitement filled every room. Scientists ran between computer stations as military personnel stood guard at doorways. Everyone spoke in hurried whispers. Mason met her at the door. His face showed both excitement and worry. "The visitors sent a message," he told her. "They speak English." Samantha felt surprise. How could aliens speak a human language? "They claim they've been studying our broadcast for decades," Mason explained. "They requested a meeting with Earth representatives. We are preparing a shuttle now, and you will be on it." 6 hours later, Samantha found herself strapped into a shuttle seat alongside 3 other specialists, a diplomat, a biologist, and a physicist. The craft shook as it left Earth and climbed toward the alien vessel, which made the International Space Station look tiny by comparison. The shuttle docked with surprising ease. The airlock opened, revealing a corridor with walls that seemed to shift colors like oil on water. The human delegation stepped through carefully. The being that greeted them stood on 4 legs with a body covered in what looked like metallic scales. A voice came from somewhere on its body. "Welcome, humans of Earth. I am Ambassador Nexel of the Vexari Confederation. We are pleased to finally meet you face to face." The Vexari explained they came from a star system 200 light-years from Earth. They were travelers and explorers seeking friendly species to trade with. Their technology was centuries beyond human capabilities, but they offered to share some of it as a gesture of friendship. Over the following weeks, more human specialists joined the first group aboard the Vexari ship. Samantha spent her days learning about the aliens, their culture, and technology. Everyone was surprised by how smoothly the contact went. The aliens seemed genuinely interested in humanity, offering medical technology that could cure several diseases and energy systems that would end pollution. World leaders welcomed the visitors with open arms, and humanity celebrated its new friendship. The United Nations held special sessions to discuss treaties with the Vexari stocks for technology companies. Soared as rumors spread about possible alien tech partnerships. Earth had never seemed more united. Samantha became the main connection between humans and the Vexari. She moved into quarters aboard their mothership, working long hours to document everything she could learn. Her small room became filled with notes, recordings, and samples of Vexari writing. One night, as Samantha reviewed her work from the previous months, she noticed something odd. When Ambassador Nexel described the Vexari homeworld, in their first meeting he said it orbited a yellow star. But in a later conversation, another Vexari mentioned their home had twin suns. It could be a translation error, Samantha thought. Or maybe I misunderstood. But as she checked more notes, she found other small problems in their stories. Some Vexari said their civilization was 10,000 years old, while others mentioned events from 30,000 years ago. Samantha tried to visit different parts of the ship to learn more, but found many areas were off limits to humans. "We are still preparing those sections for human visitors," the Vexari would say. Or "some technologies are not safe for your species." She requested maps of the ship but received only partial layouts, showing the small section where humans were allowed. Something felt wrong, but she had no proof, only a growing feeling of unease. One evening, while walking back to her quarters, Samantha took a wrong turn and found herself in an unmarked corridor. Before she could turn around, she saw something that made her freeze. A large room filled with what looked like weapons. Rows and rows of strange devices that resembled guns or missiles. A Vexari appeared suddenly blocking her view. These areas are restricted, human, please. Return to your quarters. Samantha apologized and left quickly, her heart pounding. Why would peaceful explorers need so many weapons? That night she couldn't sleep. She pulled out her secure tablet and began writing a private message to NASA listing her concerns. When she tried to send it, however, the system showed an error message: communications temporarily unavailable. The next morning, Samantha was introduced to a new arrival from Earth, Lieutenant Kate Rivera, a military officer sent to provide security for the human team. Kate had sharp eyes that seemed to notice everything. "Nice to meet you, Dr. Wells," Kate said, shaking Samantha's hand. "How are our alien friends treating you?" Something in Kate's tone made Samantha cautious. "Are you here just for security?" she asked when they were alone. Kate looked around before answering. "I'm here because some people back home have questions. The kind that need answers, not just nice words from our new space friends." Samantha felt relief. She wasn't the only one with doubts. "I think I may have found something concerning," she whispered. "I need to show you, but not here." "Not now," Kate nodded, understanding. "We should be careful. These walls might have ears, even alien ones." As they walked away, Samantha wondered what other secrets the massive ship might hold. The first contact had gone smoothly, perhaps too smoothly, but beneath the friendly exchanges she sensed something darker waiting to be discovered. 8 months had passed since first contact. Humanity had embraced the Vexari as friends and allies. Alien technology now powered several major cities. New medical treatments saved thousands of lives. People looked to the stars with hope instead. A fierce Samantha Wells and Kate Rivera had spent those months trying to convince world leaders of the danger. The evidence they brought from the Vexari ship was concerning, but not conclusive. Some officials believed them, while others accused them of paranoia or worse, trying to sabotage humanity's greatest opportunity. Today they sat in a large conference hall in Geneva, Switzerland, along with representatives from every major nation. The Vexari had called an important meeting to announce what they called the next phase of cooperation. Samantha felt sick with worry. Kate kept one hand near the concealed weapon she now carried everywhere. The room buzzed with excited conversation as people waited for the aliens to arrive. The main doors opened, and Ambassador Nexel entered, followed by 6 other Vexari. The crowd fell silent as the aliens took their positions on the stage. The ambassador stepped forward, his metallic scales gleaming under the lights. "Honored humans," the ambassador began, "we have enjoyed our time learning about your world and sharing knowledge with you. The Vexari Confederation has made a decision about Earth something." In his tone made the room grow tenser. "Your planet is ideal for Vexari habitation. The atmosphere composition, gravity and resources meet our needs perfectly. We will begin colonization immediately." Gasps filled the room. People looked at each other in confusion. "But this is our home," someone shouted from the audience. The ambassador continued, as if no one had spoken. "Humanity will be relocated to designated territories. Your people will maintain autonomy under Vexari oversight. This arrangement has worked well on 12 other worlds." The Secretary General of the United Nations stood up. "This is unacceptable. Earth is not available for colonization. We welcomed you as guests, not conquerors, Ambassador." Nexil made a sound like metal scraping against glass. It took Samantha a moment to realize it was laughter. Resistance would be unfortunate for all parties, the ambassador said. "We hoped for cooperation, but we are prepared for alternatives. 5 more Vexari ships have entered your solar system. They will arrive within days. The decision has been made." The room erupted in shouting. Security personnel moved toward the stage but stopped when the ambassador raised a device from within his scales. The humans felt a wave of pressure that made ears pop and heads ache. A warning, as chaos filled the conference hall. Kate grabbed Samantha's arm and pulled her toward a side exit. "We need to get to Washington now," she said. "The contingency plans need to be activated, half a world away." Olivia Chen, the U.S. Secretary of Defense, sat in a secure underground facility beneath the Pentagon watching the Geneva conference via satellite. The transmission cut off after the ambassador's threat. What we feared is happening, she said to the room of military and intelligence leaders. The Vexari are not here for friendship. They want our planet. A general spoke up. Madam Secretary, we need to implement the Scorched Sky Protocol. Olivia nodded grimly. Contact all allied nations, issue war plan, Omega authorization. Our planetary defense begins now. Reports flooded in from around the world. Strange structures had appeared in Earth's oceans overnight. Massive machines extracting materials from the seabed. Similar objects were reported in the Mariana Trench, the North Sea, and off Antarctica. Vexari ships deployed smaller craft that established positions in Earth's upper atmosphere, forming a network that military analysts called a containment grid. In the Pentagon bunker, Dr. Lisa Patterson, a physicist who had spent months studying Vexari technology, presented her findings to Olivia and the military command. Their shield technology has a weakness, she explained, pointing to complex equations on a screen. It operates on a specific electromagnetic frequency. If we can generate a counter-frequency, we might disrupt it. How long to develop this countermeasure? Olivia asked. With current resources, maybe 2 weeks, Lisa answered. But we need access to more Vexari technology to perfect it. Kate and Samantha arrived at the Pentagon 18 hours after the Geneva incident. They were immediately escorted to the command center where Olivia briefed them on the global situation. The first Vexari ground forces have landed in uninhabited regions of Siberia, the Australian outback, and the Sahara. She explained, they appear to be establishing bases. The 5 additional ships the ambassador mentioned have entered Earth orbit. All attempts at communication have been ignored. What about military options? Kate asked. Olivia shook her head. We launched test strikes against one of their smaller vessels. Missiles detonated against their shields, with no effect. Our most advanced weapons are useless. Samantha thought about what she'd learned during her time on the Vexari ship. The aliens had studied humanity thoroughly. They knew our weaknesses, our military capabilities. They had planned this invasion for years, maybe decades. Lisa Patterson joined them carrying a prototype device. This might help, she said, holding up what looked like a small satellite dish. When activated, it creates an energy field that should disrupt Vexari shields, but the range is limited, only a few hundred meters. It's a start, Kate said. But we need a way to deploy this technology globally. The group worked through the night developing strategies. Olivia coordinated with military commands worldwide. Defensive positions were established around major cities, but everyone knew they would not hold against advanced alien weapons. The situation seemed hopeless. 3 days later, the Vexari made their next move. Global communication systems failed. Power grids across North America, Europe, and Asia went dark. Television and radio broadcast a message from Ambassador Nexel, humans of Earth. Your leaders have rejected our generous offer. We now implement Phase 2. Surrender your governments or face consequences. This message, repeated in all languages, in the darkness of major cities, people looked up to see Vexari ships hovering overhead. Their hulls glowed with energy, weapons armed and ready. The message was clear. Submit or be destroyed, inside the Pentagon bunker running. On backup generators, Olivia received word that the president and most of the cabinet had been captured, when Air Force One was forced down by a Vexari craft. As the highest-ranking official still free, she was now acting president. We need options, she said to her team. Any options? Kate stood up. We can't win a direct fight, not yet, but we can buy time for Dr. Patterson to perfect her shield disruptor. We need to go underground. Guerrilla tactics. Hit and run. Samantha, who had been quiet for hours, suddenly spoke. There's something else we need to consider. Not all Vexari might support this invasion. Remember Elith, the scientist who told me their homeworld was destroyed. What if there are factions among them? What if some could be allies? The room fell silent as they considered this possibility. If we're going to survive, Olivia said. Finally, we need every advantage. We fight with weapons, we fight with technology, and maybe we fight with division among our enemy. Kate, you will coordinate our military. Resistance Lisa keep working on the shield disruptor. Samantha find a way to contact any Vexari who might help us as the meeting ended. Olivia looked at the worried faces around her. We are at war. A war for the very existence of humanity on Earth. This is not a war we asked for, but it is one we must win. Outside the bunker, the night sky filled with alien ships, their lights outshining the stars. Humanity faced its darkest hour. Yet in that darkness, plans formed. Seeds of resistance took root. Against impossible odds, Earth prepared to fight back. Lieutenant Kate Rivera had spent 12 years in the Navy before being selected for the newly formed United Earth Defense Force. Her superiors chose her not just for her combat skills, but for her ability to read situations and people. Kate knew something was wrong with the Vexari from day one. The aliens were too perfect, their English too fluent, their understanding of human culture too complete. In her experience, nothing was ever that smooth, especially when meeting someone new for the first time. Kate had been on the Vexari ship for 1 week when she began mapping its layout in her head. She noticed that human quarters were all located in one small section of the massive vessel. Like animals in a zoo, she thought. Officially, she was assigned to protect the human science team. But her real mission came directly from the Joint Chiefs. Find out what these aliens really want. One morning, Kate accompanied Dr. Samantha Wells to a scheduled meeting with Vexari scientists. They walked down a long corridor that seemed to pulse with soft blue light. Kate noticed that each door they passed had symbols she couldn't read. This ship is much bigger than they let on, Kate said quietly. I estimate we only have access to maybe 5% of the total space. Samantha nodded. I think you're right. The maps they gave us are incomplete. As they turned a corner, Kate heard strange sounds coming from behind a sealed door. It was unlike any Vexari communication she'd heard before. More like machinery, grinding or something heavy being moved. She made a mental note of the location. The meeting that day covered Vexari space travel technology. Their ships apparently used something called fold space to travel vast distances in short time. The human scientists asked technical questions while Kate watched the aliens carefully. She noticed how they sometimes hesitated before answering certain questions, as if checking what they should say. That evening, Kate used a small device she had smuggled, a board to scan for communication frequencies. The United Earth Defense Force had given her technology that could intercept and record transmissions. It looked like a normal tablet, but contained advanced equipment. What she found surprised her. The Vexari ship was sending regular coded transmissions to somewhere beyond our solar system. Every 12 hours exactly. These were not the official communications the aliens had told Earth about. These were hidden, encrypted, and directed at a specific point in deep space. Kate needed to share this information but knew the Vexari might be monitoring standard communications. Instead, she waited until she could speak with Samantha in person. During a shared meal in the human dining area, she leaned close. We need to talk somewhere private, Kate whispered. Meet me in the observation deck at midnight. Bring your tablet. The observation deck was a small room with a large window looking out at Earth and the stars. It was one of few places Kate had found without obvious monitoring devices. When Samantha arrived, Kate was already waiting. I found something, Kate said, showing Samantha the recorded transmissions. The ship is sending secret messages somewhere far away. Samantha looked troubled. I have something to show you, too. She explained how she'd been working closely with a junior Vexari scientist named Elith. Elith seemed more open than the others, sometimes sharing information that contradicted the official Vexari position. Yesterday we were discussing Vexari art, Samantha said, and Elith mentioned something about sculptures from their homeworld. When I asked for clarification, Elith said something strange. The home that was lost to us centuries ago, Kate frowned. But the ambassador told Earth their civilization is still based on their home planet. Exactly, Samantha agreed. Either Elith made a mistake or the Vexari are lying about their origins. The two women compared more notes. Kate shared her observations about restricted areas and strange noises. Samantha described inconsistencies in various Vexari stories. A pattern emerged, suggesting the aliens were hiding something important. We need proof, Kate said. Otherwise, it's just speculation. Samantha thought for a moment. What if we could access their main database? Their computers must contain the truth. Kate considered this. I might be able to create a distraction. Something to draw attention away from a terminal long enough for you to access it. They planned carefully for 3 days. Kate studied the Vixari guard rotations while Samantha learned more about their computer systems. On the 4th night, they were ready. Kate staged an accident in the human dining area, spilling her food and causing a small fire. The Vixari responded, quickly focusing on containing the problem. While security was distracted, Samantha slipped into a research lab where a terminal sat unattended. She had observed a Vixari scientist entering access codes days earlier and hoped they still worked. The alien computer responded to her commands. The strange symbols shifted on screen as Samantha navigated through files. Her heart pounded as she searched for anything useful. Then she found something, a folder with Earth symbols. Inside were detailed scans of Earth military bases, power plants, dams, water treatment facilities, and resource deposits. Each location had notes attached in Vixari language. Using her linguistics training, Samantha quickly translated one phrase that appeared repeatedly. Phase 1 assessment complete. She copied as much data as possible to her tablet before slipping out of the lab. Kate was waiting at their rendezvous point. Looking at the stolen information together, they realized the horrible truth. The Vixari were not peaceful explorers. They were conducting a detailed survey of Earth, studying its defenses and resources like military planners before an invasion. We need to warn Earth, Kate said. But how the Vixari control all communications from the ship, Samantha thought. Quickly. There is a scheduled shuttle returning tomorrow with rotation staff. We need to be on it. The next morning they requested transfers back to Earth, citing health concerns. The Vixari seemed suspicious, but allowed them to join the departing shuttle. Kate kept her face neutral as they prepared to leave, fighting the urge to look over her shoulder. As the shuttle pulled away from the massive alien ship, Samantha felt both relief and dread. They had escaped with vital information, but what would happen next? How much time did Earth have before the Vixari's true plans revealed themselves? Kate watched Earth grow larger through the shuttle window. They had maybe hours to warn the proper authorities before whatever came next. She looked at the tablet containing the evidence, knowing the fate of humanity might depend on them reaching Earth safely. The shuttle continued its descent, neither woman speaking, both lost in worried thoughts. Neither noticed the small Vixari drone that detached from the shuttle hull and sped back toward the mothership carrying a message. The humans know. 2 months into the Vixari occupation, Earth was a changed world. Major cities stood under alien control. Massive extraction facilities drew resources from land and sea. Humans who resisted disappeared. Those who cooperated lived under strict curfews and regulations. But humanity refused to surrender completely. Hidden beneath the Arizona desert, an abandoned military bunker served as one of many resistance headquarters. Lieutenant Kate Rivera, now promoted to colonel, led a mixed force of military personnel and civilian volunteers. They called themselves the Earth Force. Kate studied holographic maps showing Vixari positions across North America. Red dots, marking alien strongholds, outnumbered the green markers of resistance bases. Her team had scored small victories, but nothing that truly hurt the invaders. A communication officer approached Colonel Rivera. She said, a secure transmission from Dr. Patterson is coming. Through Kate moved to a private room where a flickering screen showed Lisa's face. The physicist looked exhausted with dark circles under her eyes, but her expression held excitement. We had a breakthrough, Kate. She said, I can now disrupt Vixari shields for up to 5 minutes. The range has improved to 1 kilometer, but we need more data on their primary shield generators. To deploy this globally, we need access to their command protocols. How soon can you send the prototype? Kate asked. 2 days, Lisa answered. But remember, it only works once before they adapt. We've built 3 devices, use them wisely. Kate ended the transmission and called her strike team leaders. They needed a plan to hit a Vixari installation and capture shield data. It would be dangerous, but necessary. Meanwhile, in what remained of Washington, D.C., Olivia Chen operated from a hidden facility beneath the old subway system. As acting president, she coordinated the global resistance through secure channels. Each day brought reports of small victories and crushing defeats. Olivia reviewed intelligence. From surviving spy satellites, the Vexari had established 7 major command centers worldwide. Each controlled a different aspect of their operation: ships, troops, extraction facilities, communications. The largest stood in the middle of what was once Beijing. Its massive structure housed the primary shield generator for all Vexari forces. If we could take that out, Olivia murmured, we might have a fighting chance across the world in a mountain hideout. Samantha Wells worked with a small team of linguists and communication experts. Their goal was to find and contact any Vexari who might oppose the invasion. For weeks, they broadcast encoded messages hidden within regular communications designed to catch the attention of aliens like Elith 1. Cold morning as Samantha worked at her station, an unexpected signal appeared on her screen. The message used a linguistic pattern she had created specifically for Elith friend. Samantha, help exists among us. Not all Vexari support the hegemony's actions. Many of us were once like you, conquered, enslaved. I have gathered others. We can assist, Samantha nearly cried with relief. She sent a response arranging a secure meeting. Her heart pounded as she contacted Olivia's command center. We found allies, she reported among the Vexari. Days later, Kate led a small team toward a Vexari base in the Arizona desert. Their mission: capture shield data and test Lisa's prototype disruptor. Intelligence suggested this facility was lightly guarded. The team moved silently through the night, wearing adaptive camouflage that masked their heat signatures. At the perimeter, Kate activated the first shield disruptor. A soft pulse of energy spread outward. The alien barrier flickered and vanished. The team rushed forward. They had 5 minutes before the shields would regenerate. Inside, they encountered something unexpected. The Vexari were not a uniform group. Some wore elaborate armor and carried weapons. These moved with authority, giving orders. Others wore simple coverings and performed manual tasks. Their body language showed submission. Fear. Kate realized the truth. The Vexari were not a unified force. They had a caste system: warriors, workers, perhaps even slaves. This could be exploited. A guard spotted them, weapons fired. Energy bolts sizzled through the air. 2 resistance fighters fell. Kate ordered retreat, but not before planting data collection devices near the main computer terminal. Mission accomplished, but at a cost. At the rendezvous point, Kate transmitted the captured data to Lisa. The physicist began immediate analysis. The information would help perfect the global shield disruption plan. But time was running out. Vexari reinforcements arrived daily. In Washington, Olivia received surprising news from Samantha. We have contact with Vexari rebels, led by a scientist named Elith. They want to help us. The meeting took place in neutral territory, an abandoned farm in rural Virginia. Samantha arrived first with a small security team. Then a Vexari shuttle landed silently. Elith emerged, followed by 5 other aliens. They looked similar to the Vexari. Humanity knew, but with subtle differences in coloring and movement. Elith spoke first. Thank you for meeting with us, Samantha Wells. We take great risk. The hegemony kills any who oppose them. Samantha asked, the question burning in her mind. Why are you helping us? Elith explained. The Vexari were once many independent groups with different cultures and beliefs. But centuries ago, the warrior caste, the hegemony, rose to power. They conquered other Vexari groups, then turned to the stars. Their homeworld was destroyed not by natural disaster as told to humans, but in civil war. Those who opposed the hegemony were defeated. They have conquered dozens of worlds. Elith continued, enslaved countless species. Some Vexari like myself have fought them for generations. We seek allies. We believe freedom is the right of all beings. Samantha brought this information to Olivia and Kate. They met in a secure location to discuss the unexpected development. Can we trust them? Kate asked. They could be trying to infiltrate our resistance. Samantha believed Elith was sincere. The details matched inconsistencies she'd noted during her time on the Vexari ship. It explains why some information contradicted other accounts. They were hiding their civil conflict. Olivia made her decision. We test them. Small joint operations. Share limited intelligence. If they prove trustworthy, we integrate their forces. With ours, over the next weeks, resistance cells worldwide began working with Vexari rebels. The aliens provided crucial intelligence about hegemony weaknesses, patrol schedules, blind spots in their security systems. Each successful mission built trust. Lisa Patterson continued refining her shield disruption technology, with help from rebel Vexari scientists. The prototype grew more powerful. Its effective range extended to 20 kilometers. Duration increased to 15 minutes. But to affect Vexari shields globally, they needed access to the planetary communication network the aliens had established. Kate proposed a daring plan. Use the combined knowledge of human guerrilla tactics and Vexari insider information to capture a communication relay station. The rebels knew the access codes. Humans knew how to move undetected on Earth together. They might succeed. Olivia approved the mission, despite its risks. Our best chance, she said, is to combine our strengths, their technology, and our determination. Teams worldwide prepared for coordinated strikes. Kate would lead the primary assault on a major relay station in the Rocky Mountains. Other teams would hit secondary targets, creating distractions. The rebel Vexari provided schematic security protocols and tactical information. Earth forces contributed soldiers, weapons, and local knowledge. The night before the operation, Kate found Samantha studying Vexari communication systems. "Do you think we can win?" Kate asked, her voice low. "This seems impossible." Even with rebel help, Samantha looked up. The hegemony never expected resistance, not from us, not from their own kind. They believe absolutely in their superiority. That makes them vulnerable. There's something the hegemony has never faced before. What's that? Kate asked. Hope, Samantha answered. The hope of freedom. That makes both humans and rebel Vexari dangerous. Because we're not fighting just to survive. We're fighting for something more. As dawn approached, resistance forces worldwide moved into position. The largest coordinated attack since the invasion began was about to start. Kate checked her weapon one last time. For Earth, she whispered, and for all free beings everywhere. The assault began as the sun rose. The assault on the Vexari communication relay station began in pre-dawn darkness. Kate led a mixed team of human soldiers and rebel Vexari through mountain forests. They moved silently, using the rebels' knowledge of blind spots in hegemony security systems. The main facility stood on a plateau, its tall towers glowing with alien energy. "This is it," Kate told her team. "One shot at this. If we succeed, Dr. Patterson can upload the shield disruptor code through their own network. If we fail," she left the sentence unfinished. Everyone knew what failure meant. The rebel Vexari moved ahead using recognition codes to pass the first security checkpoint. Humans followed, keeping to shadows. 20 minutes to reach the central control room. 20 minutes to change the course of the war. Meanwhile, across the world, other strikes launched simultaneously. In the Sahara Desert, resistance fighters attacked a Vexari mining operation. In the Pacific Ocean, submarines targeted underwater extraction facilities. In what remained of London, Moscow, and Tokyo, small teams hit alien patrols. Each action designed to spread hegemony forces thin. In her hidden laboratory, Lisa Patterson prepared the final version of the shield disruptor code. It had taken months of work combining human ingenuity with rebel Vexari knowledge. The code would use the aliens' own communication network to broadcast a signal that would disable all hegemony shields worldwide. For 15 minutes, Earth forces would face an enemy without their strongest defense. But first, Kate needed to reach the control room and upload the initial access program. The team encountered their first real resistance at the facility entrance. Guards fired energy weapons, forcing the attackers to scatter. 2 rebels fell, their bodies dissolving into light. Kate signaled her snipers, who took out the guard tower. The path cleared momentarily. Inside the complex, alarms wailed. Human and rebel forces fought room by room, corridor by corridor. The element of surprise faded. Kate checked her watch. 12 minutes gone. 8 minutes to reach the target. The mission teetered on the edge of failure. A massive explosion rocked the northern side of the facility. Kate recognized the sound. Human-made explosives. The planned diversion had worked. Hegemony forces rushed toward the new threat, leaving the path to the control room. Open Kate and 3 rebels sprinted down empty hallways. Rebel Vexari called directions, leading them deeper into the complex. Finally, they reached a sealed door. Central Control 1. Rebel announced, "This leads to the primary communication array." Outside the facility, the diversionary team fought desperately, drawing attention away from Kate's strike force. Many would not survive, but they fought, knowing their sacrifice might save Earth. Kate placed breaching charges on the sealed door. The explosion threw the heavy panel inward. The control room contained 5 hegemony officers who turned in surprise. Weapons fired energy blasts. Scorched walls. Kate felt heat pass her cheek as a shot missed by inches. She returned fire, taking down 2 aliens. When the brief firefight ended, Kate rushed to the main terminal while rebels secured the room. She inserted the data device Lisa had prepared. The screen filled with symbols as the program began uploading. Command Center. "This is Strike 1. Kate said into her communicator. "We have access. Beginning primary. Upload in her laboratory." Lisa watched data flow across her screen. The connection was established. The first stage of the plan succeeded, uploading shield disruptor package. Now she announced to the tensed technicians around her. The code streamed from her computers into the Vexari network. At the relay station, Kate and her team held position. Hegemony reinforcements would arrive soon. They needed to defend the terminal until the upload completed. The rebels barricaded doors and prepared for a last stand. 2 minutes passed. 3-5. The upload reached 60%. The first explosion hit the outer door. Hegemony forces had arrived. Kate took position behind a console, her weapon ready. The barricade would not hold long. The rebels looked at each other, a silent acknowledgement that they might not survive. 70%. 80. The upload continued as the outer door began to glow red from energy weapons. 90%. Almost there. The door exploded inward. Hegemony warriors rushed through, firing as they came. Kate and the rebels returned fire. The control room filled, with weapon discharges and smoke. Upload complete. Lisa announced, "The shield disruptor package has entered the Vexari network, activating global broadcast, now across Earth in every hegemony installation." Shield generators flickered and failed. Alien vessels suddenly hung vulnerable in the sky. Their protective barriers dissolved, leaving them exposed. Olivia Chen gave the order she had prepared for months. All Earth Defense Forces attack. All targets. Repeat, all targets. Military units worldwide launched their remaining missiles. Fighter jets engaged alien craft. Ground forces stormed hegemony strongholds. The counterattack happened simultaneously on all continents, in all oceans, even in space where human satellites turned to weapons. The IEIE. Vexari hegemony had never faced serious resistance on conquered worlds. Their tactics depended on technological superiority, particularly their impenetrable shields. Without them, they found themselves vulnerable to human determination and creativity. Kate fought her way out of the relay station, half her team lost in the battle. She reached the extraction point where helicopters waited. Climbing aboard, she watched hegemony ships falling from the sky, trailing smoke and fire. For the first time since the invasion began, she felt hope. Samantha had a different mission. Using a captured Vexari communication ship, she and Alith prepared to broadcast a message to the entire invasion fleet. Working with rebel technicians, they bypassed hegemony security protocols, gaining access to all ship channels. "The time has come," Elith said, looking at the broadcast system. "The hegemony has lied to our people for centuries, telling us conquest is our destiny, hiding the truth of their tyranny." Samantha nodded. "This message might save lives, both human and Vexari." She activated the system and began speaking. "To all Vexari. This is Samantha Wells of Earth. The hegemony has deceived you. Your leaders claim to bring order, but they bring only suffering. They destroyed your original homeworld to maintain power. They enslave other Vexari castes just as they seek to enslave humanity. But there is another path, Illith joined in his voice, carrying across thousands of Vexari ships. I am Illith of the free. Vexari. Many of us have joined with humans to fight hegemony oppression. For centuries we have waited for this chance. Today we offer all Vexari a choice. Continue serving tyrants or join us in building something new. A true alliance between free Vexari and humans. Together we can create what the hegemony fears most. A future where all beings determine their own path. The message repeated on all frequencies, reaching every Vexari in Earth's orbit and beyond. The effect was immediate. On many ships the lower castes rose against their commanders. Inspired by the message and seeing hegemony forces defeated below, they seized control. Long suppressed resentment exploded into open rebellion ship after ship turned against the invasion fleet. Weapons targeting fellow Vexari vessels. The hegemony command structure collapsed from within, caught between human counterattack and internal rebellion. The invasion crumbled in Washington. Olivia watched satellite feeds showing hegemony ships either retreating or signaling surrender. The shield disruption lasted only 15 minutes, but it provided the opening Earth needed. Combined with the rebellion aboard the ships, the tide had turned decisively. 3 weeks later, representatives from Earth governments met with free Vexari leaders in the rebuilt United Nations headquarters. The war was not completely over. Hegemony, loyalists still held some positions, but their defeat was merely a matter of time. Samantha, translated as Elith, addressed the assembly. We offer our technology not as payment but as partnership. The hegemony will send more ships when they learn of this defeat. They cannot allow freedom to spread. But together, free humans and free Vexari can defend this world, and perhaps someday free others. Kate sat in the audience watching history unfold. She thought of those lost in the fighting. The cost had been high, but humanity had proven itself, not just through military strength, but through something the hegemony never expected. The power of alliance, the determination to remain free, the willingness to see potential friends even among former enemies. After the assembly, Samantha, Kate, Lisa, and Olivia stood with Elith on a balcony overlooking a city beginning to rebuild. The 5 of them had changed the course of history. Their different skills combined at the crucial moment. The stars no longer seemed threatening. Humanity had earned its place among them, not through conquest, but through cooperation and courage. The path forward would not be easy, but it would be determined by free beings working together. First contact had gone smoothly until they threatened Earth. Then humanity showed the universe exactly what it was capable of. The end.